Okay, seeing as it's 5:15, I'd like to call the July Park and Rec Committee meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Changes to the agenda
No, sir.
for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Seconded.
Motion made by Bernie, second by Dave.
I'm not.
Okay. Got it. Jen?
Jim, that's what I thought.
Look for approval of the June 6th meeting minutes.
Move to approve. Second.
John? You got John? Okay, you got him. Public comment?
Bob, you gotta call
Oops, yeah, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. No public comment. Ginger, consider an ordinance regarding the docks.
Okay, Chief Schleter came to me with a couple emails. One was a formal complaint from somebody that lived downtown, I believe, and had a car vandalized from the kids that were playing on the St. John's dock. And then I also received, last on the 3rd that Chase, one of his staff sergeants had to close down the dock at, that night. There was just a report of some incidences. I think you remember last year, we had to close down the docks for a period of time because of misuse, ranging from illicit drug use to, just harassing boaters. We had an individual come to me that works in this building that said that they tried to pull their dock to eat at Jolly Rogers one night and they decided against it because there were kids down there on the docks yelling profanities at them as they were pulling in. So they left. Just a string of complaints that had chief request that we take a look at our ordinance and consider modifying it so that they can charge those individuals with, with at least some kind of citation for that.
For loitering.
Yes, yep. So I did some research looking through a couple communities on water that have community or city docks. A lot of them do have like no loitering or no swimming from the docks. Some do have fishing, but I feel personally that fishing isn't the issue. The kids that are fishing aren't the issue. I think that we pride ourselves in the amount of shoreline fishing that we offer in the community. That's always been kind of, ever since I started working for the city, I've been proud of the fact that we have such great shoreline fishing. So that's not something that will be listed in the potential ordinance change. So the verbiage is just to give the police department some backing. So up for discussion.
Anybody got any comments?
Well,
I kind of have an issue with the loitering aspect of it. Because it's kind of nice. In the past, I've gone down to the docks and just sat there in the evenings.
Sure.
And then I would be kicked away for loitering. So, now all of a sudden you can't just go down and sit and enjoy the lake and enjoy, the fireflies or whatever is going on down there. But we can, I don't fish, but if I had a fishing pole, I could sit there and do it. So why
Yeah.
can't I just sit there and enjoy the dock time? So I guess I would be okay with, the aspect of it to not interfere with the proper use, but
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a double-edged sword, going off what you just said. So my dock is just right down. from it. I have a no trespassing sign. I've had my boat seats cut up. My stuff's been destroyed. I can hear that. I know which kids are doing. I got them on camera. So we look at that we can move up the river. Now, this is a public area. We can pinch the kids for loitering. But now you're sitting out there, what's the difference? So it'd have to be an officer's discretion.
Correct.
And that's where it's gotta play. Well, it's very dangerous though, to start throwing out loitering.
yeah, if the verbiage were different than
But there- I
just
don't think
plain
there's a way you
loitering.
can make it different. You're not gonna say it's loitering except for you. And if you're an adult, but you're a good adult, you're a bad adult. You gotta.
I guess that's
this
why,
is-
I guess that's why I'm okay with it, that, no one shall on any city-owned and or managed pier or ramp interfere with the proper use of city-owned and or managed pier access. Because then I can sit there, all I'm done is take out the word loiter.
Yeah,
Then I can sit there in the evening with my, with my chair
no.
and just
that's
enjoy the river.
right there, that just fixed the whole problem.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah, back when we put the memorial up, we considered, that as a potential problem also. And so we put in closed circuit TV cameras, okay, that are going to the police station. I believe they do. And we really never had an issue at Memorial Park. I know at one time it was also discussed that you could put a CCTV at the park over there too.
Yeah, but I mean, I got cameras on my dock. I've
And
shown
it
the
still
police and
happens.
nothing happens because they can't just. Anybody that walked down there is gonna be the one that's in trouble. That's the way they look at it.
I don't think the cops or anybody else wants to kick everybody off the
Correct.
docks. It's just the idea of, if we have an ordinance, I guess it'd be at their discretion. So that's, I don't know, but I almost think you have to have an ordinance. You have to have a rule, put it that, it's like a speed limit. If you don't obey the speed limit, you don't obey the speed limit, but you still have a speed limit. So I think we need something down there to stop some of these kids that are swimming. We don't need that down there for one thing. So I think we do need something like that. Dave?
What is a true definition of loiter?
Chad,
We
you wanna-
all know what we think it is, but what is the true definition? Because it's gotta be, because it's everywhere that you can't loiter. So
So right.
for your concern that I'm sitting here reading the book, that's not loitering. Pretty sure there's other aspects of that. So
That's a really good point.
you know what I mean? There has to be,
That's a really good point.
we're gonna put ordinance out there. I really want to know what it exactly means.
So if you look at the reference of Rice Lakes, they do define loitering as used in this section. Loitering means to remain in an area for no obvious reason or justification. No other purpose is allowed unless authorized by the town board. In such case, proper signage shall be posted at the site.
Yeah, something like that. would
So
be-
no obvious reason.
See, that makes,
Oh, that
Yes,
makes sense.
Like
So
your
that-
obvious reason would be to enjoy wildlife
and relay, yeah.
or to watch the sunset, but there's kids down there that are clearly down there for no obvious reason, but to raise hell.
I guess I don't see why the police need this ordinance if there's illegal activity.
Some of it's not, some of it's just,
But that's really the concern
But
is.
it's not illegal for me to sit there and yell profanities. at someone.
right,
It's not. It's
And
annoying. It's
push
wrong.
people away
It's
from
not
our
illegal.
downtown.
Cause I know when I drive by the dock down there, I wasn't the person that was there, but I went to go to El Tequila's one night. I pulled in and I'm like, yeah, I probably don't need to rifle any kids off the dock today, so I'm just gonna go down to mine and walk around. They're not doing anything wrong, cause there isn't an ordinance to make it wrong. Good job, Dave.
I guess if the kids are not doing anything wrong, then there's no problem, but the problem is they're being destructive to property. There's illegal drug activity, there's Roman candle war fights down there, there's, those are the issues, they're, being a nuisance, being loud. I mean, we have ordinances against being
After
loud
9 o'clock.
after 9, I guess. So.
And I guess I'm looking at all of that as that's not really necessarily loitering either. That's, the kids are running around, so they're not really loitering, but they are interfering.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
But I think as the definition reads though, that the purpose down there isn't recreation, it isn't relaxation. It's destructive by nature, hence under what they're calling loitering, you're here for no reason. If I was down there with my boat, I'm there with my boat. If I'm down with my fishing pole, I'm fishing. If you're down there with a book, relaxing, reading, you're enjoying the dock. You're
if
not.
I see a sign that says no loitering, I'm not putting my chair out, reading a book, watching the sunset. I'm not doing it as a normal, everyday citizen. And I feel like having that word
Completely,
take
completely
that-
agree. I agree.
would take that aspect of enjoying that dock space away.
I agree with that, but to reiterate, Dave, he's 100% correct. The definition of loitering is not what we assume it is. But we as,
That Race Lake one, now that I kind of like the wording in that one. That kind of defines what loitering is, I guess, to a certain
Well,
degree.
As time goes by, we're putting more and more docks on the river. Okay, we have, and I think it's a great thing, but then you're gonna have to have signage on all of them. You can't just do one.
First off, in the ordinance, we'll have to look in our entire code to see, and I'm sure there's a definition section to see
Yeah.
if loitering is currently defined.
It's not in this one, because
Not in
it-
this
this,
code.
this code does have a list of definitions and it is not included
But I don't know if it's in the way in the
Right.
front. somewhere
Yeah.
there.
with, and one section, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this was something that obviously Chief has come forward with to try to give PD a little bit more teeth in dealing with some of the issues. Now, like Tim was saying, if there is drug activity going on there, if they are being vandalism or graffiti, obviously they can get them on that. If they're sitting there throwing profanities around, is that illegal?
it's not, but it's wrong. Yeah, that's the,
It's not
Or-
the intent of what we have those public docks for.
exactly. That's that fine line.
But ultimately, I guess what you're saying is you're giving the police department more teeth to make citations. They're not gonna be giving Belinda a citation for sitting reading a book.
Correct.
They're gonna use their discretion.
Correct.
Exactly, but now after what you just said, you're 100% correct. Who wants to go use that if there's a big sign that says no loitering? Well, I'm gonna read a book, I'm loitering. There's people out there. Me personally, I don't care about a loitering.
Does there
sign,
have to
but
be
I
a sign
understand.
there saying? no
Yeah, does there have to
loitering?
be a sign on the dock that says no loitering?
It does. I don't know. That I don't
No.
know.
We don't have to sign it. Because I agree with you. If for most citizens, they're gonna see no loitering and they're in
Yep.
their head, they're gonna say that.
The more people we want to use that.
That's,
If we don't
yeah.
put a sign on there, this is for the police to be able to do their jobs. And as long as we define loitering, because I would hate for somebody to get a ticket, read a book, in case the cop's having a bad day, you never know. So, as long as we can define that,
I guess I have no objections to any part of what I'm seeing up there, except for that one word loiter.
and as long as.
And
we
I
define
feel
it,
like, without it, you wouldn't have to define it. I feel like without it being in there, the intent is still there. No one shall on any city-owned and or managed pier or ramp interfere with the proper use of city-owned and or managed pier access. So I still think that,
That's
the
a lot
in-
to put on the sign.
yeah, it is a lot to put on the sign. No interfering, but I think that the intent is still there for,
Mhm.
for the police department to have, to give, to
Citation.
run, to run people off that are not utilizing it the way they should.
thing is, you're gonna have to do that with every piece of property the city owns. Because all we're gonna do is chase them from there to someplace else.
As long as they get off my dock, I don't care.
It's not in my backyard.
No, it's-
And that's the thing.
It's not a
like,
race.
It
It's
is
not-
nice for a place for the kids to go swimming. We,
It
you know,
is.
It's so, it's to be devil's advocate, you know, the kids, there are good kids that are just going down, hanging out with their buddies and swimming in the river.
Haven't met
And
them yet.
then, so now going to the swimming area part of it then. The dock on the other side of the river. Could be your swimming area. Because the dock on this side of the river, we're having a lot of the issues is where all the businesses are. That people would actually, if somebody is gonna use the dock, to go to El Tequila's or whatnot, they're, you know what I mean? They're not gonna dock on the other side.
The intent of putting these docks in there are not to make it for swimming. They were for boating and for fishing. That was the
Right,
the
but
main
that dock-
reason to put the docks. in.
Dock on the other side of the river there by Longevity.
Is the worst of the bunch.
Yeah,
We're getting a lot of complaints from that one.
It's
right? I think Tim was getting
vandalized.
complaints about
Yes,
that one.
that's the one where I watch it every day. My store's
Yeah.
right there. I feel so bad for,
I've had. to
First State or
replace
State
picnic
Farm.
tables.
it's bad.
Well, they got trees there that there's a little bit more,
Yep.
you know,
There's more
shadows.
room to do stuff.
But it's bad.
Well, I think the kids go over to this one over here more often because there's always cars parked there. Okay, and they are not seen as well. And they, you know, have a tendency to. do
Because there's
extra
no
things.
provisions for swimming off of any of those docks. There's no ladders to get back on that I know of. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't swim in the river, I'm too heavy.
Not
But
to mention the current of the river, it is
You're just
kind
gonna
of
chase them
dangerous.
somewhere else. is
So
all
the
we're gonna do.
The
Right.
swimming
Well, where's your
area
dock? I'll send them
portion,
down there.
right, the swimming
They can
area
swim off my
portion.
dock, I don't care.
I-
They're gonna have to swim to get to it.
I know. Actually, it's on land now, Dave, there.
No, it's not.
John, you got something you want to say?
Well, you know, I just gonna put my 2 cents in on it. As far as swimming, none of those docks, none of those locations on the river are a safe place to swim. You've got boats, there's no, you know, they're coming through underneath the bridge by you there. Pretty good clip, and it's a pretty blind spot with bridge piers, pylons. And someone will get hurt there. I mean, back when I was growing up, they jumped off the bridge and the police had a problem with that. But none of those docks are safe for swimming, especially the Veterans Memorial. There's a nasty, two currents coming together there. So there's a riptide current from between those two bridges that is, you know, when we were in high school, watched a friend drown there. We skipped school and we went swimming back in the day, they called it Freaks Park because of the loitering and the things that occurred. But really, you know, we've had the people coming in. I mean, it's not just here at City Hall. We hear a lot of complaints, and it seems like it's always worst at the head of the summer or right before, you know, the summer starts dragging on. But I've been up there and looked at it, taking photos of the garbage and stuff, and I have them on my phone. I have them in email. I checked this morning over there because I was asked to go take a photo of the city docks. And it was pathetic just overnight. And, you know, it was like grotesquely littered here right before the 4th of July holiday. It was a long Friday night. And it's not just young kids, because there was plenty of Doc's hard twisted tea or whatever, you know, the garbage overflowing in the garbage cans. And I picked through receipts and everything. Went there with, you know, well, for preservation, the stuff's gonna get in the river. So, you know, we can try to keep on it, but these people are ruthless and just throwing it. And they're all ages. And many of them aren't even from around here. There was a number of receipts from other communities. I don't have personally, I don't have a problem with the word loitering, but you don't have to necessarily put it on signage, you know. I think there needs to be an enforcement, something that the police department can have to kind of just Cause I know some of these bad characters that are acting this way. And they either have family or parents that will continue to enable that. They have people that will fight it in court. And without an ordinance to have teeth, the police are just, they're not gonna wanna spend their time going to court when they don't have any teeth to take to court with them. They know who the bad actors are too. First thing when I go up there to check on things, there's a line of people saying, that's not mine, that's not mine. Oh, we just took the pizza boxes out of there because there was no room in the garbage can because it was overflowing. Well, those are your pizza boxes laying in the bushes then. And there's a garbage can 10 feet from that one that's full. And like Ginger's report said, even though they're next to a garbage can, they'll tear the cover off and throw the cover in the river and still not use the garbage can. A couple of them that we suspect we're thinking about putting. And like I said, most of them aren't the fishermen but we find a few night crawler containers. And that's
Yeah.
frustrating, but we have a way we can put a special code in them and then record who,
DNA.
yeah. But we're trying to get to the bottom of it too, because we do have, like Ginger said, a lot of wonderful shoreline opportunities for people to enjoy the wolf. And it's a pity that we gotta have this discussion, but we gotta do something. There needs to be an ordinance and there needs to be some teeth for our officers to deal with this and nip it.
And I'm just gonna reiterate for the last time, I don't have a problem with there being the ordinance at all. I think I agree, there needs to be the ordinance. I don't think the word loiter needs to be in it. And a lot of the activities that I'm hearing that are being complained about are breaking other laws, like open intoxicants. And so the police have grounds there without even having an ordinance. They have grounds to deal with people who have open intoxicants in public areas. So, and pardon me?
There's no ordinance on open intoxicants in the city park.
Only certain downtown parks that are right next to bars that are identified, that you don't come out of the bar and that part, but like across the river like we're talking about. There's no ordinance. Like
Picnic and have
Pfeiffer
whatever you
Park,
want.
Memorial Park, obviously those parks, they're having sales by nonprofit groups.
Yeah. Mini, Taft, Anchor.
Just the downtown ones.
Those are the ones you can't have.
Part of the problem in catching them in the act of one of those other activities, public indecency, we had that last summer.
Yeah.
Some kids was clearly public indecency, major offense. But different things, throwing things, doing the profanity. Soon as a squad pulls up, everybody's sitting there perfect as an angel.
Right.
And so those tickets, when they're very hard to do without reeling through 36 hours of video, if the audio comes through, you have to catch them in the act. But when people have said, hey, I've seen these kids are doing this, an officer responds, he doesn't need to know specific names, faces. He can go there and he or she can go there and clear that area. The problem is done, and he can clear it based on the ordinance saying loitering is not allowed here.
I think we could pass the ordinance type deal, push the ordinance or whatever without putting a sign up. You don't have to have a sign to enforce an ordinance. So how many ordinances in town that we have that we don't have a sign for? Now it's just teeth. So when something happens, here you go. So we could put loitering in it all day long after, sitting here listening. We can put loitering in the ordinance all day long. It just doesn't have to be posted on the dock. Why do we have to post it? When the officer pulls up and something's wrong, you're loitering. Go or get a citation.
Yeah, because I know I got tickets. I didn't know what they meant.
It's kind of like we have a sign right now.
Inappropriate behavior.
Just don't want to sign at all.
So do we need a ordinance that specifically says no swimming, like some of these ordinances are up here? Or do we just need one for loitering? I almost think we have to have something, no swimming. Like, not like we have there, but some of the other cities have.
No.
No swimming, no diving, no skin diving, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that has to be in the ordinance.
That's
It doesn't
correct.
necessarily have to be on the sign down by the river, but it has to be an ordinance.
So it's something to stand on.
Right, so that way the police can enforce it. Once the word gets around that they're not supposed to do it, it's gonna end. Because then the police can go down there and tell them, say, hey, you know, you can't do this. And some warnings, couple warnings, I think it's gonna take care of it. I know, Chief, if I'm mistaken, he wanted to get this done in one meeting,
Yeah.
correct? So I don't know how everybody feels about it now. I don't know. What do you think, Ginger?
Do you guys?
I don't have a
I
problem
go
with
under
it.
your direction.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Does anybody else have any problem with writing in the no swimming and stuff like that on the ordinance? And then having it on an ordinance?
Do we need a motion to accept this ordinance?
That if you're gonna send it to council, you would.
Yeah.
Make a motion to,
I'll make that motion.
I'll wait till more discussion because you're.
What's that? Dave, I didn't hear what we said.
We're looking for a second, I
Oh.
think.
Do I have a second?
somebody on the committee.
I'll second.
Jim seconded it? And now, how would the ordinance read?
That's, you guys just made a motion on something. I have no idea what I'm voting on.
What I'm
That's
wondering,
what
what's
I'm
the-
saying.
The motion is for what our current ordinance is. They want to add the red lettering,
Yep, with the
items in
swimming.
black are existing
right?
in the ordinance.
And the red is what they want to add.
The ordinance would be amended to add the red.
So we'd have be amending the ordinance that would say no one shall loiter on any city-owned and or managed pier or ramp or interfere with the proper use of city-owned and or managed piers access and prohibit swimming areas included within 100 feet of city-owned and or managed boat ramps or docking facilities.
What does floating mean?
Which one?
Or it says skin diving or floating?
That's all. Who, I don't
Like
know
an
who wrote
interview.
that.
Yeah, floating would be tied to a dock.
So we can't kayak past?
No,
within 100
tied to the dock, floating in the water, drinking beer and having a good time. They
Okay,
do it
I
all
wasn't
the
sure
time.
what
Oh.
floating was. That's why I was asking.
Oh, sorry.
So that would be the ordinance then. And that's what we made a motion and second to. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye. Nay.
I-
Two opposed?
Two opposed?
Yes.
And Dave, right?
Dave and Melinda opposed? Motion carried.
And that will go to council.
Okay, director's report.
As read in your memo, otherwise, I'm currently, what I do have in my memo that is not true, and you will not be surprised about, is that Radke didn't show up last week to finish the to start the riprap project. I did this while I was on vacation, so I was assuming, which we all know what that means, that they were gonna do it and they did not. I do have a message out to the contractor that's leading that project and have not heard back from him. Another thing that I'm doing right now that's kind of exciting is Tyson Foods has contacted me. They want to give a sizable donation, so I'm looking at, I'm working with the playground company to see if we can put together a quote for them. So that's in addition, that's something that we're working on. That's not really public knowledge yet. I would like them to, announce that if they're gonna do that. So just getting some numbers from them. Also, I wanna thank Amcor. They are going to be doing their second workday. they did a work day at Pfeiffer Park 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. In addition to those work days, we also then get monetary donations from the employees through their program. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a good, nice little donation to the department. And then they are also doing a work day on Thursday before the tournaments down at Memorial Park. So just want to publicly thank Amcor for thinking of us and doing that. Other than that, I don't have anything else unless anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns for me.
Question I would have is, I know it's 10 months away, but that May festival, has
Yeah.
there been any discussion about moving it from Memorial Park to a different venue? Because parking is a nightmare.
Yes, so we met with the group 2 weeks ago. And highly suggested that they look at Hatton Park as an option. That is in their hands right now, and I'm waiting for their response to that. Good point. Anything else?
And then you had something coming up, that, well, I guess that'd be under future agenda items. I don't have anything. Committee members, anybody else have anything? Future agenda items?
I didn't come with any formally, but I have seasonal wage study. Oh. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank, but
Have you heard anything about Hatton Park then?
about the schedule,
Yeah.
no.
And have you heard anything about the bathrooms, if the school's gonna, has that been discussed?
The
Memorial
school-
Park?
Oh, in the Memorial Park bathrooms, they will, yes, they will be coming, thank you. They will, the Youth Baseball Association will be coming, or Softball Association will be coming to our August meeting about that.
Okay. And are you gonna contact the school to see if they're gonna come and talk to us?
I can if you want me to, but
Sure, I think so.
I don't
They
know.
ask us to help them, so why don't we ask them to help us? I mean, they benefit by it as much as anybody.
And 3 spots you're gonna get.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the Legion schedule is gonna be completed by the end of the month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It will be.
Yeah, looks like discuss and confirm our next meeting date, Tuesday, August 8th. 4:45?
oh, that's not right. No,
Say that's not right.
see? 5:15.
Nothing else, and I guess we'll recess.
And would it be the first or the 8th?
Oh,
Typically, it would be the 2 weeks before the council,
and there's 5,
and the council is scheduled for the 15th.
it is.
It's the third, the council is the third Tuesday.
Okay,
So the committee meetings
Then
are
the
typically
first.
2 weeks before. So in this scenario, we have done public works on the 31st, Parks and Rec, finance personnel, because then that gives us the 2-week gap for the council meeting on the 15th.
so Robert will have 2 July meetings.
We'll be looking at August 1st then?
That's
Okay.
when it would be normally scheduled, on the first Tuesday of the month, which would be the first.
That's gonna be National Night Out again, but we did it before.
No, you can change it, I mean, but normally.
That's
scheduled.
gonna be a pretty lengthy agenda, so I think for Chris's sake, to give her that extra time for the minutes, it would be helpful, just do it on the first still.
So our next meeting will be August 1st then,
August 1st at 5:15.
5:15. Okay,
Sorry about that.
and I guess we'll recess and go to the park store.
Yes,
We need a motion to go into recess.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Bernie made the motion.
Will we adjourn there?
Yes, so people on social media or YouTube watching us, we are recessing for a park tour. We're gonna go out to 2 different areas for that, and then the meeting will adjourn at the last site of the park tour, but no action will be taken at those sites.
Belinda, did you want us to go to the river trail first?
That would be nice, and then I'll follow along.
Sure.
So that I'm not transported,
Right.
needing transport while you guys are doing the Blackmore Trail, since I
Okay.
won't be able to walk that.
Okay.
That would be nice. Thank you.
Call a vote, right?
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?